This is awesome. I like how this campaign's going.
Can I request something real quick?
Yes.
This the whiteboard and all that, a bunch of stuff here is like locked for me. Like I'm not allowed to use it at all. Or can't toggle it to unlock it.
I can set it so that we can unlock things. I'll get on
I've
that in just
unlocked
a...
it.
Oh, okay. But I'll give
Thanks.
players, so let's see, options, permissions, and locking. Because the first time we played, we had a lot of people locking and unlocking things.
And throwing stuff around.
And throwing stuff, and you can actually accidentally unlock the sides of the table as well. So don't unlock the sides of the table, because then everything breaks.
Okay.
Okay, so welcome back, everyone, and this is 2 short sessions in. In the first session, we had Nets, Bomber, and Wolfie meet up in the offices of the Balar and get given a job. Nets instantly proved himself to be a danger, as he was a sarcastic person to essentially a mob boss. They then went shopping in the market. They've so far charged food, alcohol, clothing, and illegal equipment to the essentially company credit card that they've been given by the Balar to start their operations for the Balar as spies. Then a little bit of commotion broke out in the north end of the market, and there was a walking tank, roughly 5 foot tall walking infantry support unit that is imaged there, and a man in black armor facing off against a group of Balar soldiers. Blastertoad's character, Mr. Nets, then proceeded to wander into the middle of this, chat as if he was meeting a friend who worked for the company he was going to be employed by, and it somehow worked out, and I don't have a fucking clue how. and now Toad is currently wandering around the market with his new love bro pal.
I may have lost
Mr.
a friend in not Bob at the kebab place.
Yes, not Bob the kebab seller.
Yeah. But then I gained a friend in Drazni Enforcer Dude in armor. I call that a win-win.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Wolf and Bomber are just sitting out of harm's way, just bemused.
Oh no,
by the
I
fact
left.
That...
I straight up left. I should have walked
Bomber's
out.
gone
I was
home.
just like, I'm not. I have. If you want to get a hold of me, you can always try and call me, whatever, space cell phone shit. But I'm just not involved with you because I did not want to watch somebody get blown up today.
Space pager.
To go with my space
pager.
Pager. Okay, well, yes, this thing happened.
Yeah, it happened. A thing happened. I'm not sure how or why,
So,
but it happened.
May we ask at this point what you expected to go on there in that last scenario?
Of course. Okay, so what I was expecting to happen there was I was expecting you guys to basically half get involved in what was going to be a quick little fight between the Balar and the soldier guy. And then, depending on your sort of choices in how that went, it could have gotten you an in with the Drazni, it could have gotten you some extra reputation with the Balar. There was going to be a little bit of violence. It was going to be kind of an introduction to it was supposed to be an introduction to the civil and yet sometimes remarkably brutal world of the 3 groups that look after the slums. And instead, it turned into a comedy skit.
Wonderful.
So
it looks like we need a new combat tutorial.
Yeah.
I broke the tutorial mission. That's great. Well, especially since
standard game over.
Yeah, that was gonna be Vagabond's first foray into the D20 combat system too. So, oh, nice. Okay, well, now me and Black Buddy. I should probably ask his name. So,
You and your black friend are gonna go shopping?
yes.
Well,
Exactly.
if you don't want him to be a black friend, turn the lights on. Um, which is a hark back to a previous RPG session where
Yes.
Toad started the session by saying you need to turn the lights on so he's
Yeah.
not black. Just for the
Yup.
audience, maybe slightly confused by that.
Yes. The things that I say sometimes. Okay, well, anyway, now that we're back amongst the market and things have, the commotion has somewhat subsided, and I've got a new Drasny friend. Now that we're walking back inside the market, since we'd left Walking Tank Robot outside, like, so, Mr. Drasny, what should I, refer to you as?
Just give me a sort of random name generator to actually give her a name because he was supposed.
Call him Jimmy.
Jimmy John. There you go.
He is Ket-chan, which is apparently a Polish name.
Ketchan?
Ket-chan.
Okay.
Oh, I thought okay, it's like ketchup, but not. Okay.
And I'm probably butchering the Polish pronunciation of that because it's got some weird umlaut bloody thing going on. But let's just call him Ket-chan.
Ketchan. Okay. Well, hello.
Ket-chan Senpai! No.
No. No.
Sorry.
Well, hello, Ketchan. I'm Nets, and I extend my hand for a handshake. My normal, informal fashion.
He shakes your hand and kind of looks at you and goes, "You're either like one of the bravest idiots I've ever met, or one of the most stupid brave people I've ever known. I'm not sure which."
Well, I've never been called brave before. So stupid and idiot, I'm used to those ones, but brave, that's new. Thanks.
So you're a stupid idiot. Yeah, okay.
Pretty much. Okay, so I've been rummaging around this place a little bit today. It is my first day through, but is there anywhere in particular you wanted to visit, or are you a local here? Maybe you can help me peruse the fine wares of this marketplace and find something new and exciting.
He it's like the two of you go walking around the marketplace, and basically he explains that he's not here to do shopping. He basically came here to piss off the local sort of Balar lead officer for the Balar enforcers, who is a gentleman by the name of Andros.
Andros, wasn't he an android in something?
Andros was the Star Fox.
Oh, yes, was the system in Star Fox.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say I plagiarize terribly. Like, most of the names and most of the personalities and things just come from other literature and stuff. Like, I plagiarize terribly when I make games. As a DM, like it's perfectly fine as a DM for you to plagiarize stories and things. Like, there's no such thing as an original story, and you're doing it for the entertainment of the roleplay group. You don't need to be 100% original in everything you do.
Okay.
So we'll be hearing from a man named Gordon Freeman sometime soon, eh?
Well, I did have a Jeremy C. Denton planned. So I do have a J.C. Denton.
Yeah, I got that right away.
Tucked away.
Okay.
Tucked away somewhere. I don't actually have a Mr. Freeman. I may have to include a Mr. Freeman. Now that it's been mentioned, I may have to include a Mr. Freeman somewhere. Well, that could be the name of the next person that you fuck up killing, and I have to come up with a name for.
So then I'll know. You'll keep it under your hat, and then they'll be like, "Well, you just met Gordon Freeman." I'm like, "Oh, haha! I screwed something up again."
I mean, you could make him a mute, and so that means you'll make it almost unavoidable.
Okay, so
so since he just explained that he's basically here to piss off the other guys, like, well, you did a right fine job of that now, didn't you?
Kachan basically says that, or sort of he's chatting with you as you go around the market, and he's actually like shopping with you. He's actually like looking at things in stalls, and for want of a better word, you're having a little bro date.
This is so far out from what you expected that you're just having a hard time even describing it. It's great.
And he basically explains that Andros recently Andros had been slightly rude to a couple of members of the slums population who are part of the Drazni organization and who live in the Drazni area of the slums, and basically he'd just come down with his walking tank to cause a little bit of strife. He wasn't expecting to have quite so many enforcers in the market today. Usually there's 2 or 3 enforcers. The fact that they managed to rustle up 6 enforcers out of nowhere quite quickly was a little surprising for him.
Drazni guy surprised that they had an adequate number of enforcers. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so yes, he's mentioning that. It's like, okay, so what was your plan afterwards? Like, you came in with a tank to piss off like 3 dudes. What was the end goal here? Were you just gonna walk away? Like, none of you look like you were backing down.
Well, you see, that's the problem with them having too many people here. You see, Andros himself is a pompous little shitbag, to be fair. He wouldn't have bothered trying to enforce his authority when faced with my little friend who's sitting outside. You see, he's a bully. Basically, he was risen to the position of one of the enforcing
so
officers.
A loud barking dog.
Yes, and I brought my bigger, barkier dog with me today. But the problem is that it doesn't appear Andros is in charge in the market anymore. And
well, that
yes,
was a bit of a cock up, wasn't it? So
his face just goes blank for a second, and he goes, "You're a very blunt person, aren't you?"
Well, I find it takes too long to beat around the bush. Plus, then you can get thorns in your hands. So I prefer not beating bushes.
His eyebrows go up, and he just looks at you and goes, "You prefer not beating bushes. Well, as far as your sexual preferences go, that doesn't particularly interest me."
And yes, I just laugh. I throw my head up and laugh. I was like, I like you. Yeah, Cat Soup or whatever your name is. What's his name again?
Cat Soup.
Cat-chan.
Cat-chan. Cat-chan. I like you,
Cat
Cat-chan.
Soup was a weird anime.
Yes, it was.
So he laughs as well, and you two are genuinely having a little bit of bro love going on. You're just thoroughly amusing him.
Now, just out of character because I don't want to go through all the stupid questions. I start chatting to him regarding the business and what it's like being employed for the Dresny group and whether they consider themselves a corporation or whether they're just a group or a guild or what's actually going on there, and trying to get a little bit of information while still showing personal interest.
Okay, so as far as information goes, you find out that he's one of the low level exterior operations officers for the Drazni. He's one of the gentlemen who basically his job is to work outside of Drazni territory.
What's his name again?
He's
How do you spell
Cat-chan.
it? Cat-chan. Okay, Cat-chan. Okay.
According to the Polish name generator, apparently it's spelled Kejchan.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do K-A-T Chan. Cat Chan.
Cat Chan.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm butchering that name, by the way. Whatever. He's now called that, and I can't fix it, so it's fine. Whatever. Fuck it. Carrying on. And he's quite happy with fuck this. What the fuck have you done? Already. He's quite happy with his position. He's like, he asks about like what you're going to be doing or what your interview's for, and you explain that you're going to be interviewed for one of the manufactories, and he says, "Oh, that's interesting work. Can be a little bit rough sometimes."
Yeah, don't tell me it's rough. Like, look at my complexion. Like, what am I gonna need to do to get a more suitable job to my build type and not personality, but what's another word that's not personality for personality?
I have no idea. All I can think now is personality, tank, personality.
Archetype, I guess.
Archetype for my not endowment either. Let's find me a job that suits my endowment. Whoa.
Yeah. So.
But no.
You'd be in accounting.
But yeah, just that suits what his impressions of me are so far, and what sort of line or reasoning or people I should talk to maybe promote myself a little further along the chain.
Well, basically, he explains that if you're going to one of the manufactories, then the main sort of like white collar jobs are the maintenance and engineering jobs, the fixing and manipulating of the production lines, and the controlling of the production runs are more electronics and mechanics based jobs. A little bit more softer white collar sort of stuff. And then he sort of has a little chuckle and he says, "And you can always be a guard. I mean, like, it doesn't take a big muscle to pull a gun and pull a trigger."
And I get a fancy suit like yours?
He has a little chuckle and he goes, No, you don't."
Well, what's it take to get me one of those? As I kind of like prodded his shoulder pad on his armor.
He kind of sort of like shrugs his shoulders slightly and he's like, you need to become one of the external operations agents."
Well, I may have to speak to you later on that career path.
Okay, so I think we'll bring the bro date to a close.
Okay, so
right about there.
We end my interrogation of him regarding the business and all that, and yeah, we I guess separate our ways, or whatever, go on our way. Words and things and stuff. Yes.
Oh, my brain! You have ruined my brain.
Wow, we already had a homo date within the first 2 hours.
Yep, we already had a combat turned into a homo date in the first 2 hours of play.
I don't know how you managed that, but thank you.
Look what Vagabond's doing over here. Wait, what? Why am I like a sock puppet that's smoking with a gun?
It's a toad.
There I'm stupid.
Clearly, Starbly Wolf does not like knits.
No, he's just been sitting there giggling about him the entire time.
What the hell?
I don't even know, man.
And apparently his IQ is 74, which means his IQ is slightly above that of a golden retriever.
I love he has the items of his bag drawn out in a thing labeled bag.
He's like, ah.
Fucking hell.
Vagabond,
Okay.
I
Get
love you.
immersed.
This is
Get
awesome.
immersed.
This is awesome.
Anyway,
Oh.
so the homo date is over.
Yep.
Sorry for just like side railing that whole area, guys.
That's been the weirdest situation for the first 2 hours of campaign I've ever had. Like the first 2 hours of the campaign are usually reasonably predictable. Apparently
Yeah.
not.
I mean,
Well, you did say you were either gonna be like a DM's favorite or least favorite people at the end of the last
Yeah.
one. Right now, I'm feeling the
I'm
least
still
favorite
not sure
part.
which.
Oh. Hopefully, I'm not the only one having fun with it then.
no, that you hurt me. My ribs hurt. My ribs hurt. I've muted my mic so much. It's just like I might as well not be here. I'm dying. Like you turned a possible massacre into I don't
A little
know.
bromance
I don't even. I mean,
budding through the marketplace.
did you at least
Anyway,
get
back
his
to the
number?
campaign.
That was so good it increased Wolf's IQ by 12. Increased Wolf's
damn.
IQ by 9 points. Okay, so back to the campaign. Like, okay, you've done your shopping, you've charged meals and alcohol and suits and data rippers to the credit account that you've been given by the Blar. You've had your bro date. Bomber's just walked home because he's like, "Fuck this shit. I'm done with this shit. Them, just no," and he's just fucked off home. Wolf's been hiding behind a counter watching you have a bro date. So, what are you guys gonna do next? Where are you?
Well, I'm gonna head on home. Like I've got a bedroll waiting for me, and like this data pad I gotta read up on, and a resume to write, and I gotta get ready for an interview.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow them home.
You don't like have your own box to crawl into or something? You're just gonna follow me home?
Well, I mean, if you guys are all at home in bedroll, I might as well stay for the night.
Fair enough. So Nets comes back with Wolf in tow.
I assume he's got a bang on the door because I don't just
Yeah.
have my door open, but I'm just
And
Honey, I'm home.
why is the handicap in the Wolf Massacre? Why is the handicap in the mask here? I thought I don't have room for an extra.
I'm told to keep an eye on you, so I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
Are you telling us this just directly right now?
Yeah.
Or is that
Yeah,
just
I
you're
guess there's
thinking
no
to
way
yourself?
of getting.
It's just I was told to keep an eye on you. I'm keeping an eye on you. It's like, okay.
I guess there's no way of me talking you out of staying here, is there? God damn it.
Nope.
All right, fine. Fine. Go set yourself up in the back room.
okay, so
You'll be bunking with Nets.
Wait, what? I gotta share a bed now?
No, you're sharing a room.
Oh, okay, that's better.
okay, so the night or the day closes with Nets and Wolf having their own little bro cuddle in separate beds in the back room, and Bomber in his room, and the day draws to a close.
Mm-hmm.
So my brain's just melted and dribbled out my ears. So you've got a choice as players. The interview scenes or the interview themselves probably not going to be particularly interesting because it's basically been prearranged that essentially there's no chance of you failing at that. It would just be a chance to have some conversation elements. We could move on to kind of the next sort of area, which would be approximately sort of 4 or 5 days down the line when you move out to the manufacturing facilities. And you start.
Hey, Vagabond, do you want to
manufacturing
roleplay a interview? Because I would really love to see how Snarbly Wolf does an interview.
Yeah, I'm kind of down for that.
I mean, Snarbly Wolf's already established with the Belar, but so I have no idea if Snarbly Wolf's gonna end up doing anything there.
But this is with the
Except sit and
Dresny.
look stupid. Oh, the Dresny.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
have to
in that
interview
case-
with the Dresny to get a job at their manufacturing facility.
In that case, shorten it up. Let's do it, but let's keep it a little bit short.
Okay, I don't think I need to do mine, because mine's like, dude shows up in a suit, like, hands his resume across the table, guy goes to look, and like, nope, don't look at that, I'm your guy, I'm smart, I'm talented, you need me, I'm an engineer. And that was the end of
Aren't
my
we all a
interview.
team here, though?
But we still get interviewed individually.
I will just note down that Toad has made 2 lifelong enemies.
Ooh.
The 2 people who interviewed you.
Really?
So far, you've successfully made an enemy of.
3
Well,
people.
let's put it like this.
I got not Bob, and I've got the 2 interviewers.
So far, you've made an enemy of, or kind of not an enemy, but you've displeased Anheg.
Oh, I thought we got off famously.
No, he's just really fucking polite. You've displeased Anheg. You've pissed off not Bob. The only person that you became friends with. The only person that you became friends with was the person you were supposed to fucking kill.
Wow! Wow!
Oh.
Wow!
What the fuck is wrong with this situation? Okay, so the next day rolls around and you head down to the interviews, and it's in one of the small sort of slum buildings, one of the more permanent slum buildings, the metal walled, what are known as the core or the inner slum buildings, very similar to the place that Bomber lives. It's a wall building, metal walls. It's set up as an office. There's probably about 40 chairs lined up in the hallway. There's no one sitting in any of the chairs.
I really didn't need a suit for this.
You're going for a job interview in the slums.
You didn't pick up on that? That's you absolute
Well,
belly.
like, these are,
Like,
we're going to be working for one of the big 3 kind of factions here. I want to make a good impression. Except for no.
There's about 40 chairs laid out. None of them are occupied. There's a couple of Drazny security officers, a couple of just generic bouncers. They're not wearing fancy armor or anything. They're just generic bouncers, and they're there to kind of police the interviewees, of which, with you 3 included, there are 3. And you get to chatting with one of the bouncers. One of you chats with one of the bouncers, and you find out that there were supposed to be quite a few interviewees today. And job market's usually quite competitive here in the slums. I mean, money to eat is an important thing after all. But for some reason, none of the other interviewees seem to have turned up.
What a coincidence!
Yeah, that's a minor problem. That's very odd. The guard is obviously suspicious as fuck that something's going on, but he can't prove anything. So Toad goes in for his interview dressed in his suit into a slum office and meets a member of the Drazny employment office. And yeah, he's got some experience in engineering, some experience in mechanical work. He's not massively strong, but yes, they could. There's certainly positions that he could fill. And who wants to be next in for an interview?
I'll head in for that interview. I wanna find out where I'm gonna be put.
So Bomber goes in for an interview. Sitting behind the desk is 3 people. 2 of them are just sort of dressed in standard clothing. One of them is obviously a physical labourer, probably one of the guys from the manufactory. There's also this gentleman sitting in his suit.
He does not look so happy.
It's an angry Obama.
It's an angry Obama. Angry Obama is the one who runs the interview, and he starts asking you general questions about where you've worked before and what you've done, and he asks you like, are you capable of lifting 100 pounds, and can you stay standing on your feet all day, and standard like job interview questions. Then he kind of looks at you and goes, do you work now, or have you ever worked for the Balar?
No, I don't think so. I might have worked for an offshoot, but never for them. No, I've never had any dealings with any
Roll a D20
other
for me.
companies. Where is my? There you are. I can't. Are you kidding me?
You got a
Are you
1.
shitting me?
You
Are
tried to
you
lie to the
shitting
guy who
me?
probably didn't care because everybody's worked for one of the 3 corporations here.
He writes a little note on his piece of paper, and he goes, "Indeed." And are you good at keeping your mouth shut, Mr. Bomber?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent, Mr. Bomber. Now, you'll be working at one of our manufactories out in the industrial district. We have visitors at the manufactory semi-regularly. We require you to keep your mouth shut about the visitors. If we find out that there's a leak of information, we will be ending the contracts of those people working in that manufactory. So I'm sure you understand it is important that information is not leaked.
If people
This
find
one.
out I leak stuff, then
I
Bomber's gonna get like
assume
strung up by his neck.
I assume ending contract means a bullet in the back of the head into a shallow grave. Gotcha.
You have a very strange view of the world, Mr. Bomber. We're not uncivilized people. We would merely be ending employment, Mr. Bomber. I seem to have gotten stuck on that particular accent now.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, like
Yeah.
you've melted my brain with that whole scene with the tank, and now I'm just stuck with that particular urbane accent. It's like this guy was not meant to have that accent, but now I just can't do any other fucking accent.
Glad to help.
Oh, I hate you, Toad.
Well,
So,
Snarbly Wolf is up for interview time. I
Snarbly
am
Wolf is up for
well interested in this.
So Snarbly Wolf, you enter the interview room, and you are faced by this gentleman and his 2 fellow interviewees, or interviewers, should I say? And they look at you as you come in your rough clothing and your wooden mask, and they just sit there and stare at you for a couple of minutes, just taking in the scene. You are Mr. Wolf?
Correct.
Ooh, big word.
And all 3 interviewers just look at each other for a second, and you are here for the job at the manufactory.
Yes.
They go through the standard questions of are you capable of standing on your feet all day, etc., etc. I'm assuming Mr. Wolf replies with single monosyllabic answers.
Well, give me 1 or 2 questions.
And are you capable of lifting 100 pounds over your head, Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
And you have no problem with being on your feet all day?
I have no problem. No.
They all sort of pause for a second in the interview and just look at each other. One of the gentlemen wearing the sort of normal clothing, not suit, leans across and says to the person in the suit, "He's wearing a mask." Do you always wear the mask, Mr. Wolf?
Not always, no.
Is there any particular reason you felt that wearing the mask to the interview would be appropriate, Mr. Wolf?
Why is not wearing the mask appropriate for this interview?
They all look at each other with they don't really have an answer to that question. And you have experience with handling goods and equipment, Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
They all again pause and look at each other. And one of the gentlemen in sort of the sort of clothing you'd expect people to manufacture to wear sort of leans in and goes, "We, do we have to hire him? Is there anybody else we could hire? Maybe?" The person in the suit looks at his fellow interviewer and says, "Don't be a chicken. He's obviously absolutely insane, but if he works, he works. Welcome to Drasny Manufacturing, Mr. Wolf." And he just jots a couple of little sentences on the piece of paper that he's got in front of him. Or, as Mr. Wolf might see, he jots some squiggly lines on the piece of paper in front of him, because Mr. Wolf doesn't have a concept of sentences.
He thinks I'm the worst candidate. The nerve of that guy.
He does indeed think you're the worst candidate by a long shot. However, you're the only candidate available today, so he supposes he will give you a chance. Mr. Wolf has left the interviewers perplexed and somewhat concerned. I don't think any of you have made particular friends with the interviewing panel, but you are all provided with the opportunity to prove yourself and provided with contracts. The contracts are reasonably standard short-term manufacturing contracts. It has all the standard clauses one would expect of such a contract. In the event of death or injury, the organization is not to blame. In the event of the discovery of things of value, the organization takes ownership of them, so on and so forth. All the standard clauses and things. Mr. Wolf probably just has a habit of writing a giant X on the bottom of his whenever he's handed one. So yeah, that I.
Are you okay, Droid?
I'm sorry.
The game.
No, like both of you, like all like so far, 50-foot Ant's character hasn't done anything, but we've got a guy who is such a twat, such a complete and utter socially incompetent twat, with no sense of self-preservation, that he put himself in front of a military-grade infantry protection unit, and it worked.
It's so stupid it worked.
And then we have a guy in a wooden mask who replies with monosyllabic answers, and my brain's gone. You people have successfully broken your DM within 3 hours of starting the campaign.
Oh, just wait till we have to do something just wait until Snarbly Wolf has like actual involvement in this.
Oh, this is going to be beautiful. when we get to things that are going on, to situations and events and oh god, combat with you people. Oh my god,
Can be
combat with these
fantastic.
characters.
Yes.
It's okay. I got a hatchet I could throw.
So we're gonna have Snarly Wolf, a guy in a wooden mask with a hatchet. We're gonna have
Oh man.
Bomber, who I assume
is
is going to
beautiful.
shoot himself up with space cocaine, and then go ham. And
Well, I mean,
we've got Nets, who I presume is simply going to walk up to his opponent, kiss them, and say, "Would you like to go shopping with me?"
that's.
Oh, this
Oh
is
shit!
wow, people! Just so many,
Hey,
so
hey,
many levels of
don't
wow.
lump me in with those retards.
Okay, so
Well,
that
this is
brings
another
kind of the
40 minutes after like we just finished our interview. I'm gonna
Yep.
stop the recording for this one, and then we can choose whether to continue or to give our DM a rest.